This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Crimson Diamond.
Goodness me.
That's a new one.
Last time on the Crimson Diamond.
What's weird?
Gremlin Diamond.
It's weird because Matt can do a better radio voice than that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Let's try something
This is
different.
yeah. Yeah.
Third
Hello.
best radio voice was not what I had guessed for today's cold open.
You know what? I didn't even know where it would be on the list. Now I know. It's third.
Yep. Welcome to the Level 0 NPCs playthrough of the Crimson Diamond. It is episode 18. It's odd for us to start on an even number, but we had some technical difficulties last week, so you only got one episode. You're going to get two, and we're going to be way the fuck off schedule, so, enjoy that.
You can blame
But
me for
we're
that.
still going to end on a game episode, and maybe, we'll just do questions for Crimson questions only or something like that next week.
Hey, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you guys can blame me for that. My Audacity crashed while recording.
I feel like that, Audacity should be the thing blamed in that particular case, but,
You also kept your cool enough to salvage the file from,
Yeah, no, you're right.
That very much
you
seemed
are the
like
guy
the kind
who
of
handled
situation
that.
where,
That's true.
yeah.
Unless you
could
developed
easily have
Audacity.
given up on that.
Did you develop Audacity, Matt?
Ooh, not yet.
Okay.
And maybe one
Not
day in the
yet.
past I will.
Not on this go round.
Yep.
The
But
future's past.
If the human soul is like a superpositioned electron and we're all one being living many lives, then we all developed Audacity.
Yep. In which case we all did, and we're all to blame.
Yeah.
That's much better.
We all did it, and it's easily in the top 10 worst things we've all done.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it for collective responsibility. Also, I'm not sure that that's true, but, fair enough.
Top
That means
10
we all
worst
fixed
things.
it too. We all fixed it.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like if
I said
that
it-
includes everything done by every human ever.
all of human history, every atrocity, every war, every crime, Audacity makes top 10.
Yes. Creating a very useful freeware piece of audio recording software.
which we all use on purpose, even in a field of other options.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's great.
And prefer.
Yes,
yeah. Even, like,
which we all
professional
use and
audio.
prefer.
Also,
Yeah.
how long have we been doing this show?
Many, many years at this point.
Yeah. We're ramping up to a decade, and that's the first time Audacity has ever crashed on me. Ever.
It's true.
So,
OBS has crashed a few times.
Oh, sure.
We've had Audacity crashes in the past, but, not Matt.
It's
usually.
one
Not
of the
me.
most stable pieces of software that I use.
And is
Absolutely.
really good at recovering from crashes as well. So.
It did. It recovered all the stuff I
Hip,
recorded.
hip, hooray for
And I
Audacity.
refuse to update
Apparently one of the greatest sins committed by all of humanity throughout
Yeah.
the entirety of time.
Well, top 10. I'm not saying it's the worst
Top
one.
10.
I'm saying it's...
I mean,
there are
if
9 worse ones.
This is all things done by all humans through all history. It has
Of all-
to be,
yeah,
by
of all.
definition, one of the worst things.
Yeah. One of the 10
Because
worst,
we've done a
you
lot
know?
more than 10 things. Like, even individually this week.
Yeah. No, even the recent past has things that really, I don't know if they deserve
I did
top
more than
10.
10
They probably
things
outrank
today.
Audacity.
Even the last week.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's play the
Hello.
game. Hi,
So-
everybody.
Yeah. It's
Get in
been
the
a week,
comments. Rank
but-
your top 10 worst things to have ever happened.
I I feel like that would just create a very depressing comment section. I
think there'd be a lot of good entries, but the making a good point doesn't make it more pleasant.
No. So let's shift gears a little bit. Back to the Crimson Diamond. Far from the top 10 worst things ever done in humanity. And
it's in the top 10 best things done.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was in a recent lukewarm review I received. This is by far not one of the top 10 worst things that humanity has ever produced. Thumbs up. So,
No, this one's up there with the discovery of penicillin.
Maybe when they play a bit longer, they'll think different. But in the first couple hours of gameplay, they feel that it's not. So, okay.
Hey, as long as you can keep them there for 2, then the refund window has expired.
Yes! No recourse. Yeah. Do we want to do the story? Can I tell the story about why
yes.
room exists?
We made Julia promise that she was going to do a thing, and it was kind of a bit just so that she would have to repeat herself within minutes of having said something. But then a whole week elapsed. But I think we should still do it because somebody might be watching these episodes in sequence.
What's crazy is that this is a legit cliffhanger now. Like it really was.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It wasn't even meant to be.
Nope.
And now it was.
Yep.
Is it a cliffhanger? Because I'm going to tell the same story I just told at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, but then you have to add a piece of information that was missing at the end. So people are like, oh, I see. I see.
Well, the problem with that is I don't even remember what I said in detail last time. I just know the broad strokes. So I could just add something completely unrelated at the end if I can come up with something.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, when I started to develop this game, it wasn't a game. It was just a bunch of pixel art rooms, and it was all just an art project, hobby thingy. And thank you, Luke, for that. I like that visual of the gesture, the Vanna White gesture.
Gesturing to a room.
Yeah, and so not with having any game development goals in mind. I had no design document. I don't even think I developed a design document until maybe chapter 5. While I was making the game. So I figured out, hey, I hear this is a good thing for people to do when they're making a game. And because I had looked at other examples, like when I worked with Strange Scaffold, they had design documents for stuff. I'm like, hey, fancy that. Maybe I should do one of those. But I was far into development by that time. And so when I was trying to figure out what kind of rooms I wanted in the lodge, because I knew I wanted not just a bunch of bathrooms and bedrooms, I wanted to have different kinds of rooms that special places like this would have that normal people like us. Maybe I'm just talking out of school. Maybe you guys all have billiard rooms in your homes. I don't know. But my own experience is that I don't. But if I could find a kind of a model of a house that could contain a room that was different, the clue board was a really good starting point for that. Specifically the 1986 Parker Brothers edition that we had at home growing up. And we didn't tell the story before. Well, I can't even pretend that we didn't. But Matt, you said you had the same edition?
I didn't have it, but I've played it numerous times because my best friend growing up had it.
Okay. Yes. So in addition to the billiards room, there's a study, there is a conservatory, and those are the reasons those rooms are also in Crimson Lodge, up to even taking visual cues from the green and yellow tiled floor in the conservatory in the 1986 edition. And this room was a room specifically where, I didn't have a reason to have it be in a game when I decided it was going to become a game. And I only came up with a reason for it to be in the game at this stage. And I was very pleased that I did manage to come up with a game reason for this to exist. Because a lot of the game had to do with me trying to come up with reasons for a lot of things being in the house. But I didn't succeed on every front, but this is definitely one of my prouder ones.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
That is awesome.
I just Googled the 1986 clue board just so that I could take a look at some of the rooms in context. And yeah, I see it. I see it.
It's a worthy piece of inspiration.
It's glorious. And I think why don't I repeat another story? I've talked to other game developers. Yeah, I think we did talk about this on Level 0 NPCs. I talked to Francisco Gonzalez, who's making Rosewater, which will be coming out on March 27th of 2025, which is very exciting. He and I kind of shared the same story about the clue board and how a lot of us adventure game folk, we would not even play the clue very much with people, like other people. We would just kind of take the board out and move the little pawn around in the little rooms and pretend we were just a guy exploring a little house. That's how we how we enjoyed the game. We just put our little guy up on the couches and walk him through the doorways. Yeah, I think there's at least one other person on Earth that has had this experience, same as me.
Yeah.
That's a very relatable impulse to take the game pieces and try to tell your own story with them. My siblings and I would do that often before we sort of knew like about D&D or how that worked. We would have like various things that we did that were like to our future selves would be clear lead ups to that hobby.
What games were you doing that with?
It may have been literally Clue. I'm trying to think, but there was definitely like maybe it was like Candyland or something. It was a game that had like some narrative elements to it, or like some world building, or like the board of the Game of Life or something like that, where like you're supposed to like roll the dice or spin the wheel and go around on this circuit, but it was more like, well, tell me more about that, like, you know, candy swamp. What's that guy's deal, right? Like,
I don't think I even knew how to play Clue correctly until like my late 20s, early 30s. When I played it with my cousin's daughter or something like that, at a family get together or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's how you play Clue. It's a deduction game.
I don't think
Sort
I've ever
of.
played a game of Monopoly to completion, and I don't think I've ever even played according to the real rules. So yeah.
I used to play Clue, but I used to love the board more than the game. It's not much of a kid's game, honestly.
Well, that's
I've
the
ever
thing,
played a
I
game
think,
of
is,
Clue
like, the
correctly either.
rules. Yeah, it really is just like keep going around rooms and like peeking at stuff that's in the rooms, so that you can eventually rule out everything but one set of, you know, room, weapon, and person, so that you can call out who the murderer is. Honestly, the fact that they like say, you know, 4 players with, 6 or 8 or whatever possible murderers, and so one of the players could be one of the murderers, but maybe not. Like, even that's kind of suspect and weird. So, but anyway,
There's actually another game that's kind of it's a very interesting departure from Clue in that it's kind of got the similar format, but it's almost like the opposite type of a game where it's called Kill Dr. Lucky, and the idea is your players that are roaming around a mansion, and then there's the Dr. Lucky character that is, I guess, controlled by somebody or just by random or something, and the idea is you have to try to kill Dr. Lucky in a manner and in one of the rooms so that no one else has an eye line on you. You just have to try to get that opportunity. So it's a fun little change of format.
It's almost
Poor
like reverse
Dr.
Clue,
Lucky.
yeah.
well, do we want to play a little bit of Crimson Diamond? Actually,
Let's do
kick
it.
this old man's
Let's-
ass at billiards.
Let's fucking
Yeah.
wreck him.
Okay. Well, let's ask about. Oh, God.
Let's reverse
Oh,
Clue
God.
this bitch. Take one of those things and hit him over the head. Hey, Nancy, wanna play?
Oh, sure.
Let's get Q.
I warn ya, I always win. Even. That's the spirit, Nancy. Come and hit a few balls with me.
I appreciate how she just has a fucking
Mm-hmm.
interdimensional pocket in her skirt here that she can just shove an entire Q into. Let's rack the balls.
Your new voice for this guy is like a slightly more baritone Gilbert Gottfried.
Sounds good. The rules can't use rules in this game.
You can't use rules. How dare you?
Hit ball.
Okay, so how about you get us started?
You gonna take the triangle out? Good man. Thank you.
Sure.
I guess that's the rack.
I don't know the technical name for the wooden triangle, actually.
That was a very satisfying break animation.
Oh, wow. You know what? How about you just practice a bit? I'll give you some pointers.
At this resolution, those balls are kind of hard to animate rolling, so they just kind of glide on that base.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah.
Like, beyond just kind of slide them around or anything.
Well, try to follow through more.
Gotcha.
You're fucking it up. You didn't even hit the cue ball. Don't grip the cue so tight. What's wrong with you?
Okay, I'll try. I mean, I'll try not to.
Are you a baby? Are you a stupid baby?
I really think I'm getting better.
You're not.
Oh, dear me.
Sure thing, Nancy. Sure thing. How about I rack the balls again and you can try to hit it from the top?
Gee, thanks, Mr. Richards.
Yeah.
Oh.
I worked with this guy called Remy who was quite exceptional at billiards. And he couldn't accept how bad I was at it. He was one of several coworkers that liked to go out drinking, and so they would frequent doolies, and I would play pool with them. And I was really bad at it, and I didn't mind being bad at it, but he couldn't bear it. It was unendurable for him to watch how bad I was at playing pool. So he tried so hard to teach me, and the cruel irony is neither of us knew that I was stereo blind.
I was going to ask, was this before or after? Yeah.
Yeah. That would do it. Hey, no touching the balls unless they're in the pockets.
Sorry, I don't know much about billiards.
Ah!
Are you having fun yet, Mr. Richards?
This is the worst night of my life.
She's really good at scratching, if I say on purpose.
Try to hit the cue ball straight on for now. Nothing fancy. Come on.
Oh dear, I was trying to hit it straight on.
Well,
it's the worst night of your life so far.
That's so true. That's so true. Can always get worse. Doop doop doobity doop. Doobie doop doop doobity doop.
Speaking of doolies and other such establishments, I'll get the cue ball. Can you favor us with the passphrase there for this week?
I sure can.
I thought this has become a regular part of the show when it is absolutely relevant to nobody except maybe Matt and Alex.
Excuse
you know what,
me.
though?
You don't know who's listening.
It's just interesting, right? He who laughs last didn't get the joke.
I actually don't mind that one.
It's not great, but it's not bad. They've had way worse.
Yeah, they've had worse.
Yeah.
They've had worse. This could be a place, so you don't know. Like, there could be someone in Halifax listening to this episode on a Saturday. They're thinking, what fun can I get up to in Halifax on a Saturday? And then just give them the pat. They could just go. They can roll right on in, you know?
Yeah.
And the speakeasy was kind of surprisingly cool.
I really liked it.
To be fair, normally, this will air on Saturday, the only day that it will continue to be valuable. So they would have to listen to this episode and act upon it the day that they heard it, and hope that the Speakeasy Password doesn't come in episode 2, because that doesn't air until 8 p.m. in Nova Scotia.
Well,
listen, if we had PCs listening from Halifax, I'm sure we would have known. They would have definitely shot us by now in the streets. Right? Yeah. It's an admiration shooting.
Yeah.
An admiration shooting.
A perverse desire to own our souls by taking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's here. I don't think so.
If I can't have you, no one can. You pick up the cue ball, careful not to disturb its surface too much.
What are you doing? I said don't pick up the ball. God.
Fingerprint cue ball. Aha! Powdering the cue ball reveals a foul fingerprint.
Literally watching you do
It would be hard to make
is
friends
nice
if you
and
went
clear.
around gathering fingerprints.
Fantastic work. Lift fingerprint. You tear off a piece of tape and press it on the powdered impression revealed on the cue ball.
He's just watching you do all this.
Aha, this is a wonderful clear example of Mr. Richard's fingerprint.
What the hell?
Did you hear this? I gotcha. I was just faking enjoying this so that
I
I could get
haven't
what I
even
wanted.
done any crimes, and I don't want people taking my fingerprints.
No.
This was all a ruse?
I suppose
Well.
these days fingerprints are a biometric security issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, god damn it.
Oh, no.
Oh. Wow.
It's funny we both did that.
When
Nope.
the fingerprint scanner switched to being something that was on your screen instead of on the back of the phone, I realized that I understood the way those fingerprint scanners work much less than I thought I did.
Before returning the cue ball to the billiard table, you wipe the sooty cue ball clean using a fold in your skirt.
I'd hate to soil the base. That was fun, Mr. Richards. Thanks.
You've ruined my night and my life. Sure thing, kid. I probably would have given you my fingerprint if you just asked.
Oh, yeah, you can, and he'll say no. So no.
I guess
Remy
we'll
would-
never know.
No, we'll never know.
I think we're only missing Albert.
Besides
now
the
at
fact
this
that
point,
I, who
so
made the
now
game,
I
is telling you
gotta
that's what happens, we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
Remy would get so upset when I didn't get better at billiards. And then when I would get like a little bit better, it was obviously not as much as he had hoped.
How many times did you do this with him?
Well, I didn't know a lot of people in Charlottetown, so I played pool with the guys like pretty often. So it would have been like at least half a dozen times we played, and every time he'd give me some pointers, and he'd be distracted about it. Like,
Oh, dust his head. I'm sure he touches his head a
I
lot.
tried last time.
Oh,
I tried last time.
fuck.
Doorknob in the game.
this is
God
a cool.
damn
I'm not
it.
sure what to...
This is one of the cooler bits I've seen in a adventure puzzle game about trying to find a different way to get every person's fingerprint.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Well, some people just give it to you, too.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like, I don't know if it was probably a blend of, I don't want to design another puzzle, but also people sometimes are helpful and, and
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, obviously, like, playing the Colonel's Bequest, we have a bit of fingerprinting going on in that game, but it's not really super implemented in the game. Like, you don't actually do much with them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do more with it in this one.
I like that we have to gather the fingerprints and actually, like, be relatively thorough about the whole thing. We also still need to get the fingerprint out of the thumbprint cookie impression from Jack, too. But I'm at a bit of a loss as to what I'm supposed to do here.
Time
to
to
get Albert's fingerprint.
Time
Time to
hit the hit book.
Severus thumb.
Hint book time.
Oh, you can just talk to him. I think maybe if you talk to him, he might give you a wee hint about how to proceed. Yeah.
I'm rather busy at the moment, but I can smell delicious cookies downstairs.
I brought you like 6 already.
Why don't you be a helpful girl and bring one up to me? Huh?
Yeah, so definitely
I'll
has
give you
something to
another
do with the cookies.
I feel for Albert.
Say, Mr. Espa, how do you like to
same.
get this thumbprint cookie?
Albert's eyes light up.
Splendid. That is just what I need. Thank you, miss.
If there's an upward limit on how many cookies I can eat, it's purely theoretical.
You've never hit it, ever.
No, I've never encountered that quantity of cookies.
Albert thoroughly enjoys the cookie, licking his fingers and smacking his lips.
Delicious. I could do with another if you find yourself downstairs again.
Sure thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention. Yeah, sometimes people have still been streaming Crimson Diamond, and someone, I think the other day, Papaya Chemist on Twitch was streaming and had made actual thumbprint cookies, but not with the recipe I'd provided. They found their own recipe on the internet, but every single time someone's found their own recipe and made them, they have been delicious. So I think it's pretty foolproof.
Yeah.
Aren't any more lumps of dough here? Well, I can't just give Albert the lump of dough that has Jack's thumbprint.
You're going to have to get another one.
It's good of you to be accepting of people's apostate thumbprint cookies.
Take a freshly baked thumbprint cookie from the tray and shove it in your pocket with all of the lint.
Trading heretical
Do I need
recipes.
to bring it to him on a tray? Open cupboard.
The actual recipe is on the back of them Christmas cards that y'all got sent. So,
oh yeah,
if you want to taste the real ones? You can experience.
I have it out here if you'd like me to read it aloud.
Oh, would you?
I already have a problem.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Matt, could you do me a huge favor and read it in your most erotic voice possible?
All right, sure.
Can you get right up on that mic
Quest
and
for Glory
just
5 voice?
Yeah, I want bring back your phallus voice. That's Centaur Blacksmith.
Nobody liked phallus. Nobody liked it.
Everyone
Everybody
who
liked
counts
phallus.
liked phallus.
Halangrada, a.k.a. thumbprint cookies.
Ooh.
Sorry.
You're nailing it.
2.5 cups sifted all-purpose flour.
This is 2 1/4.
2 1/4. Sorry, it's dark in here. 2 eggs separated. 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter or margarine. Make it butter, it's better for you. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. 1/2 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. Raspberry preservatives. Optional. 1.5 cups of walnuts, finely chopped. Bake at 350 degrees for 12 minutes. Makes 3 dozen cookies. Sift flour onto wax paper. Beat butter or margarine with brown sugar in a medium-sized bowl until fluffy and light. Beat in egg yolks and vanilla. Stir in flour 1/2 at a time, blending well to make a stiff dough. Optional. Fuck. Sorry. Beat egg whites in a separate bowl until foamy, semicolon, sprinkle walnuts on wax paper. Step 3. Roll dough 1 teaspoonful at a time into balls between the palms of your hands. Optional. Roll each in egg white and then into walnuts to coat it all over. Place 2 inches apart onto large cookie sheets. Press down in the center of each cookie with your thumb to make a little hollow. Bake in a moderate oven, 350 degrees, for 12 minutes or until firm and lightly golden. Remove from cookie sheets to wire racks. Cool completely. Spoon preserves into each hollow. That's it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Very well done. I like that you had 2 different characters in the scene.
Thank you. That was the story. I was going for something.
Nothing sexier than pronouncing the punctuation out loud.
Semicolon.
Punctuation is hot.
I hope you guys took that down.
Yeah, now it's out there. Yeah.
Now it's out there.
Yeah.
And if you missed it and don't want to go back and listen and transcribe it, then just
too bad.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Julia's Patreon and hope she sends it out to y'all another Christmas in the future.
Yeah, that could happen. I have some extra, so sometimes I'll do that. If I have extra,
There you go.
I keep my card on my desk, on my computer actually, so I can see it.
Yay!
I love it.
Aw, thanks.
I had your other one on there just until I got this one, and then I replaced
And then that
it.
one you just swiped away with the back of your hand as soon as you got the new one? Yeah.
This one's fucking garbage now. A freshly baked cookie would be delightful. Stuff it in my face. Crumble it up and place it into my eyes. Ground it into my skin, into my pores. No, thank you. Doopy-doopy-doo.
So we need to give him a cookie, but we need to do something with the cookie to before we give it to him.
I tried dusting it with soot.
That's a common thing attempted, yeah. But there's something you did notice on the kitchen island that you thought was for something else.
Oh, the pepper?
Oh my god.
I wish I was a bit more vague with it. I'm sorry. I think I spoiled it.
That's fine. I don't think I would have got it otherwise, so. You applied the correct amount of hint for me. Pepper cookie.
Well,
Yeah, pepper.
you give it a little look see and
That's your kitchen. You see the salt shaker.
That's
salt
it's
cookie.
different. It's a different thing.
You shake a generous helping of salt onto the thumbprint cookie.
I was gonna say it's the opposite, but like there's not really an opposite of pepper, so that doesn't make any sense.
Ever since the narrator said that thing about us feeling uncomfortable invading the lodge owner's room, I can't help but imagine Nancy watching helplessly behind her own eyes as she pours salt all over a cookie but doesn't understand why.
Say, Mr. Respa, how'd you like this thumbprint cookie? La-di-da.
Albert's eyes light up.
Splendid. That's just what I need. Thank you, miss. My 8th cookie? My 8th cookie tonight.
Albert eagerly takes the cookie and consumes the thumbprint cookie in 2 bites.
Clump, slack, crump. It was saltier than I was expecting. What an odd recipe. That cookie's gotten me quite thirsty. Do me a favor and fill my drinking glass from the pitcher and hand it to me, miss.
Thank you for not making me do that manually. As you hand the full drinking glass to Albert, you stealthily wipe its surface of your fingerprints.
Ah, thank you.
Albert drinks the water in 1 gulp. And then hands the drinking glass back to you.
Sorry, I redlined.
He just opens up his throat and pours the water straight down.
You hear the water land in his stomach.
He just swirls it and tornado chugs it. You carefully receive the glass, making sure not to touch the areas where he held it.
Nice job.
Fingerprint glass. Aha! Powdering Albert's drinking glass reveals a fingerprint. Hold on. Lift fingerprint. You tear off a piece of tape and press it onto the powdered fingerprint. Kick glass. You wouldn't hurt a fly. Roundhouse lamp. Okay.
Just on your way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Do.
I don't know if I could ever finish an adventure game because I'd be too tempted to put in insane possibilities like that everywhere. Just for like the 1 in a million chance where someone types roundhouse lamp and there's just really an animation of her jumping and just belting the lamp into the wall.
I mean, you know, that's the beauty of making a video game that has these kinds of possibilities. Is if you really wanna, you can. All right, so let's look at this dough. This bit of unfilled thumbprint cookie dough has a void where the raspberry jam ought to be. You can barely make out Jack's thumbprint in the soft, fresh dough.
I wonder if there's a way for me to get Jack's thumbprint out of this lump of dough.
What did you say?
Oh, I need to find something that can make a real impression, Jack.
What?
I need to steal your fingerprint. You won't give it to me. So...
Well, you didn't ask, so...
it's true. But it's not much fun if I ask. It's rather against your will. It's more fun
I've said
that
it
way.
before. You know one thing that always has fingerprints? Fingers.
I'm really busy right now, as you can see, sitting here with my mug of God knows what, staring at this dough. Super busy.
It's an empty jam jar of raspberry jam.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Now he really scoured that jar. That is
Yeah.
clean.
He's frozen because he doesn't know what to do. There's not enough jam, and he's fucking panicking.
He's such a capable
his
person,
programming
but
is telling him that he needs to put jam in the cookies. But there's no jam to put in the cookies, so he's just getting a recurring error message.
he's prone to executive function paralysis. For all his multitasking capabilities, he's out of jam now, so he's just fucked until someone helps him.
I'm so busy freaking out right now. I can't give you my thumbprint. I'm fucked. I'm
There's
quadruple
something...
fucked.
The interminability of him, like, sitting there, there's the half-filled tray of unbaked cookies and the cooling tray of cooked cookies, and he's just kind of sitting there staring into space.
Scary.
On a panel show, the late comedian Sean Locke was asked what his favorite time of day was, and he said, you know when you're sitting on the edge of your bed, and you've got one sock on your foot and the other's in your hand, and you just stare out into space?
Oh, yeah.
That's his favorite
That sounds
time of
about
day?
The first thing in the morning, you got one sock on, the other's in your hand, and you just stare out into space because you don't have the energy to put on your other sock.
I know that feeling well, sadly.
It's just such a relatably dreadful moment to choose.
Nancy, you're freaking me the fuck out. I don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it.
You massaging this game. All right. I need to find something that will make a real impression.
Is this the last fingerprint we need?
It is. We've gotten all the other fingerprints.
Hey. I think this is
We got-
probably the toughest puzzle in the game. I think this is the one people get this most stuck on.
Yeah.
I think the game would be inauthentic in a way if there weren't at least a couple of puzzles that were a little bit stumping.
Mm-hmm.
There's certainly been nothing like use the snake oil twice.
I think it was 3 times even in Dagger of Monroe.
Yes, I think it's 3. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Hint book.
Hint book. Yeah, all right. So you need to get something that will make an impression. So the dough is real soft, and it's not gonna stand up to your obtaining the print that way. So what you're gonna, I don't know. Can I have another peek into your pockets? And I don't know if you have the thing. You might not have the required element there. So, right, you don't. So I will guide you to the room that, if you just proceed south, you will be in the room where you need to obtain something that will help you.
Got it. Get wax.
Oh, that makes a real impression.
Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Not that much wax, but yeah, no, that was enough. You scratch all the candle wax drippings off the candlesticks and tablecloth with your fingernails.
Nice.
That feels awful. Melt wax. How would you like to melt the wax? Melt wax with candle. You need a container to hold the wax as you heat it.
Just put it in your... No. Preferably something with a handle. Yeah, you can just put it in your hand, the palm of your hand, just hold it over a can.
Just cup the wax in your hand and heat the bottom of your hand.
Put wax in glass. Reserve the drinking glass for other purposes.
Besides, it would be better for me to use something with a handle. Don't you think?
Don't you think?
Don't you think?
Put wax in kettle. Unfortunately, that doesn't really accomplish anything. Probably for the best.
It's not an occasion for the mug in our inventory, is it?
Put wax in mug. Put the hardened candle wax into the blue mug. You saucy bitch. All right. Heat wax over candles. You hold the mug over the candle flame. Before long, the wax inside the mug has melted and become liquid.
Ooh!
I technically helped.
Here's the thing that's amazing about this, which I love so much. So there's a whole elaborate way to do this. That you guys totally didn't do, but I love the fact that you guys figured out a simpler, more straightforward way.
What's the more elaborate way?
The more elaborate way is you actually construct a double boiler in the kitchen.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Whoa,
How
you
would
could
you
do that?
Like, do you put the mug in a pot and pour water in the pot and then heat the pot on the stove?
You can either heat the pot on the stove, or you can pour hot water from the kettle into the pan. That's after you put the mug in the pan, after you put the wax in the pan.
That's fantastic.
But you did the much easier way, which I love.
Yeah. You carefully pour the hot liquid wax into the hollow thumbprint cookie.
Wonderful. I'll just need to chill the wax so that it sets up nice and hard.
I like that Nancy just sort of MacGyvers herself a fingerprinting kit at this lodge in the woods.
You put the wax-filled thumbprint cookie into the icebox. You close it. You wait an appropriate amount of time for the cookie to chill.
1 year.
That should just about do it. Yeah, she just made the player walk around. A few room transitions.
So, interestingly, I've been watching a lot of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer races recently because they're doing a sort of a big tournament on the Speed Gaming channel recently. There is this thing in Link to the Past, the dwarven blacksmiths. There's like twin dwarven blacksmiths, and one of them is stuck as a frog in the dark world. And you got to bring him back to his twin brother into the light world. And if you do, then they will forge the master sword into a more powerful sword for you. So in the game, basically they're like kind come back later and we'll have your sword upgraded for you. And if you leave the building and come back in, that's not enough. You actually have to leave the building and then screen transition out of the room outside of the building and then come back, and that will have been enough. But because it's that one extra step further, like, it convinces people that, like, oh, you got to wait like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. So you're running around for ages, maybe even doing a whole fucking dungeon without your sword in Link to the Past before going back to the dwarves when, it is literally just tied to a screen transition. It's just not the screen transition you think.
Oh, gee.
It's great.
Oh, gee.
I think we should play Legend of Zelda Link to the Past on the show.
I love
Personal favorite.
Bring back Wed SNES Day.
It's the best Zelda game.
It is the best. Well, I could make arguments for Wind Waker, but Link to the Past, excellent game.
There's certainly a few different Zelda games that are noteworthy for their own reason. Link to the Past was the first game I can remember doing everything in. And without just looking it all up, too. Just like taking the time to find everything there was to find in a game.
Mm-hmm. Just exploring, finding all the shit. One of the most dastardly completionist things that I can remember as well is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So there's 2 castles, right? You do the castle once, and then if you play the game right and you wear a specific pair of glasses when fighting Richter Belmont and Shaft the Magician, then if you defeat Shaft, then you go to the upside down castle, right? And as you play the game and as you fill out the castle and you find stuff, your map completion goes up to 100% and then 100% again. But you think it would stop at 200%, but the castle has 206% completion.
What?
There's like 3 rooms that count extra, or that don't count extra. 3 rooms that don't count towards the standard 100%.
Wow. That sounds to me like
it's
it
awful,
does,
right?
though. That sounds to me like it does count towards the 100%.
Well, it does, but it counts beyond 100%. It does not equal exactly 100% in either castle.
It's an interesting way to sort of inspire a dedicated player to keep on looking, or to because they hit the end of the meter and expect that to be the end, and then for there to be extra rooms afterwards for people who keep on sniffing around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're playing it about the way that a completionist would play, you're probably going to end up with like 201 or 202%, and you're going to be like, oh god, is there more?
Yeah. Well, it goes from being like, oh, I have exactly this much left, to be, there could be anything around the next corner. It's a cool way to subvert that expectation. Though people with certain types of OCD would probably find that deeply troubling.
Yeah. My buddy Danny, for which Symphony of the Night was like his favorite game in high school, could not find that last percentage.
Oh, boo.
And played the game for months searching. That was great. All right, you remove the chilled wax-filled thumbprint cookie from the icebox. You close it.
Brr.
You eat the cookie, wax and all. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Terrific. The wax is rock hard, and the raw cookie dough is hardened too. Now to get the wax out of the cookie.
Heat it up so the cookie again.
Chisel cookie. No? Do I not have a chisel? I have a trowel.
And an ice pick.
It's a duck call. Oh, I thought it was a little chisel. We have a little hammer. Hammer cookie. Jeez,
That should work though, darn it.
Pry wax from cookie. Eat.
It's like the archaeology scene for Arrested Development. Putting the hammer right through the skull.
Spike dough on ground. You can't use spike in this game. Okay, fine. reheat dough and wax. Okay. Wah, 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 wah. The melted wax has cooled and solidified.
Ah, now I must release the wax cast from this bit of thumbprint cookie dough.
It's impossible.
Matt, if you started now, do you think you have enough time to be remembered as one of the greats when it comes to playing the harmonica?
Yeah. I do.
Do you think you'd have to go pretty hard on it, though? Like, would that have to be pretty much the only thing?
Oh. I was overthinking it. You carefully crumble the chilled cookie dough away from its hardened wax filling. I was trying to use a tool. All I needed was my hands. I would have failed as a caveman.
Caveman failure.
Hashtag caveman failure. You're left with a perfect impression of Jack's thumbprint, cast in wax.
Finally, I've obtained everyone's fingerprints plus fingerprints from the crime scenes.
And that's it for this episode. I was waiting for this.
To see if you can draw any useful conclusions.
I was waiting for this.
Do I not have to fingerprint the wax?
No, you're good. You got it.
You just need it. You just need to look at it.
You need to
wax is the fingerprint.
Compare fingerprints, but are we doing a cliffhanger episode again?
You're
Never to come back?
goddamn right. Wait, no. I think my Audacity looks pretty stable right now.
All right. Stay tuned for the next episode when we're gonna solve a mystery.
We're gonna find out who smashed that curio cabinet. And if you know who it is, then you know that you've probably played the game before. Or you made it.
The only thing
With
that
special
song is
guest
missing...
Randy Newman.
The only thing that song is missing is a second Matt to accompany Matt on the harmonica.
I think I could become the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think...
Not just one of the greats, but the best.
The best harmonica player of all time.
Ever. You think if you start now, you got enough road ahead of you to be the best there ever was at playing the harmonica. This is not me being skeptical. I'm just asking for clarity.
Matt's going to play so well that John Popper and Bob Dylan shoot each other in shame.
Yep. They're going to be like, what were we thinking? They'll have a pact, and they'll shoot each other in shame. Hey, look, I think I could do it. I have the mouth dexterity for it. I have the dedication and the belief in myself.
Dexterity.
Mouth dexterity.
I'm sad that the other great harmonica players are that broken up about it. You know, like in a gentler world, they would be very overjoyed to meet such a talented harmonica player, but they just destroy one another in misery instead.
It's very serious. It's
Matt
a very
has
serious.
invalidated their existences.
This is no jokes. This is their lives.
He started at what age?
Matt's
even Timothy Chalamet will kill himself because he played Bob Dylan
Matt
and he wasn't good
has
enough.
a higher degree both of like confidence, experience, and I'd go as far to say aptitude when it comes to drawing than I do. But I don't look at Matt's drawings and think I should never draw again. I look at Matt's drawings and be like, God, I should really draw more. Just the idea that every harmonica player is just the opposite of that, where like, if I can't be the best, I don't want to fucking be.
Yes, but note that they kill each other in shame.
Yeah.
Except for Timothy Chalamet, because he's
They're not only jealous, they're cowards. They can't even do it. They have to have someone else do it because they're just too afraid.
What other channel are you going to hear someone call Bob Dylan a coward?
No, I'm saying I don't like that assessment of Bob Dylan. I'm not. this fictionalized version of Bob Dylan that we've created.
No, I love it. I love it. I could be the best. I could do
The
it.
greatest there ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's going to be so good. The devil is going to come down to Georgia and challenge him to a harmonica contest and lose.
I hadn't even thought about that, but I suppose that's the deal. If you get good enough at a musical instrument, you never have to die because you can beat the devil in a harmonica contest.
Mm-hmm.
Them's the rules.
Is he just the best
rules.
at everything, the devil? It's not just the harmonica, though, right? Like, you can just challenge him to any instrument?
Yeah. Anyone?
Well, he was also second best at the fiddle, apparently. So
It's sort of like sometimes it'll be the Grim Reaper instead of the devil, that if you can beat him in a game, you get to live. There's like a t-shirt or something with like the Grim Reaper and a kid playing a video game, and the caption is, "And Timmy lived forever."
Yes. That's hard on whomever that is, because they have to be good at everything. But I guess they've had eternity, so... I mean, well, video games have not been around for eternity, so I don't expect them to be better, like Call of Duty or something, than a kid.
Yeah, people around our age, you know, a generation to either side of us, so to speak, have a decent shot, I guess, at beating an immortal entity at a video game because we've had just as long a practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video games aren't significantly older than I am, so the Grim Reaper doesn't have a good head start on me.
No.
I'm shit out of luck, though, because I'm quite bad at them.
I mean, considering this supernatural, we're making some pretty strong assertions that they don't have more time to practice. But
That's true. That's true. We've accepted a lot of broadly impossible things, but are making like insane leaps of judgment about like how extra-dimensional beings experience time.
There's plenty of other things, if you're not good at video games, that have been developed over the past 20 years, you could challenge death at. Like Frolf.
although subjectively, having listened to The Devil Went Down to Georgia, neither of them were that great at the fiddle.
I mean, that's fair.
Maybe you're just missing those nuances. Maybe it's beyond us to appreciate because we're not that
Maybe
good.
the devil's just like, yeah, this guy's like an 8. I could probably beat him.
I don't know. But we'll find out. Also, when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Zappacosta.
Aw.
Is that a person
Stay
or
tuned
a
for that,
thing
too.
or an event?
It's all three.
Person, thing, or event?
It's all three. If you ask me.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yes, that is a noun.
For me, I can't wait. Oh, yeah, is it a verb?
Ooh. You've been Zappacosted.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.
Stick and stay, everybody. I thought much of that conversation was already the second episode. Bye.
Bye.
I decided it wasn't. I'm sorry. I have so much power that I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.